Hey guys, so I'll be working on the saxophone version, which is my EP3 in my modulation. I mastered my track in the first EP, which is the original track. And then I have my distorted track, which is EP2, you can go check it out. And this is now going to be my EP3 volume, which has my saxophone in it. Let's do this. So I have it over here. Now, I can start over here, no problem. And I'll take off the melody over here, and I'll place the beautiful stem files over here that I received with my package. They're all WAV files, and there's an MP3 file as well. I'll put the WAV files in. Very beautiful, this person. Manuel, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very beautiful saxophone. So look over here, what's going on. Import audio MIDI file. Yes, please. It's the original master Alberta desktop. So look over here. No worries, thank you. One second. So just going to drop in my files over here. So what's happening over here? The MIDI files, what's going on? Import MIDI files. Current projects. No. Ah, it's in the archive folder, that's why. Come on. So what I do is I open it. Extract, please. Extract. Oh, I have to extract my files first so that I can place my files and my wavelengths and my WAV files, my audio files inside my FL Studio. Otherwise, when the folder is archived, when it's zipped up, you'll never be able to. So make sure no matter what, you can always. Here we go. I'll give it a go now. Thank you. Let's give it a go. Now it's doing it. Now I'll start the original version first. So my original version is part 1, and you guys can see me now. I'm doing this right now. Let's have a look. And my album's name is One Hit Wonder. And the reason for that is due to the compilation of how many tracks I'll make with this variants. I'm doing better. So guys, make sure that you never copy anybody else's facial expressions. I tend to copy this woman, and I'm not gay. So here we go. Sometimes you have to embarrass yourself in order to get ahead, guys. Here we go. Now, I have the stem files over here. I'll start recording this now. As when I log out of FL Studio, my spyware inside my Windows 10 will go and switch off. Guys, I suggest you do get Windows 10 and a laptop such as Lavono for around $800. You can grab yourself a beautiful Lavono laptop for $800, and it has a dual core processor. Also has the Intel graphics design that you need. Has a 112GB storage base and also a 8GB RAM processor, which is amazing for this computer in terms of FL Studio. FL Studio will run wild on it. So look over here. Now I'll place my beautiful Bluetooth over here. And I gave around 56 Australian dollars for this saxophone, just for the core lead systems. So look over here, what's that thing? I'll turn on Bluetooth. And it was 35 USD, which is, it comes to 56 Australian dollars. And I gave $338 for the vocalist. And for the melody of the vocal, which is a universal vocal, and I'll also grab myself a beautiful opera singer and a chorus to go along with that. I'm in a church choir. A church chorus is going to be singing all loud in my song. It's going to be a massive celebration. Why not? Let's have a look. Beautiful. And the stem's done for me already. I just need that stem, that's it. That one's just, this one here has no effects. So I'll listen to it from here. This one has no effects, the other one has effects. Put the effects one on. This one's a dry one, so when there's effects in it, it means it's a dry stem. When it has effects, it means something's put in the actual saxophone to make it wet and atmospheric. So while I talk, it's amazing just to hear my saxophone now. There's nowhere else in the planet that you would be able to, let's say, get this saxophone inside a FL Studio or package deal or any type of, let's say, preset that's going to give you this real sound. The only way that you can ever grab this kind of sound is to give money for it and grab yourself a real person to do it for you. And all I did was I grabbed my stem cells, I gave him one stem cell, he returned me 6. He returned me 6 stem files for $56. Yeah, he has this long one, which is exactly the representation of my stem file. And there's some effects. There's a saxophone 3, 2 and 1, all with separate effects and no effects. So that's beautiful. Manuel, you really did me a great job over here, bro. I love it. So look over here. This one, effects, is so beautiful. They'll be calling me Danny Saxophone. Stay tuned. I'll be playing the saxophone myself in the festivals. I'll be playing this music myself. As you hear the saxophone now, is how I'll be playing it in festivals. With my own saxophone. I'll be learning the saxophone to play this. I just started now. I got myself a saxophone now. This is my music production university. I hope you enjoy it. Smart idea. It's a smart idea to take screenshots of my FL Studio so you can see as I go along, which I'll be doing now more and more clearly. To see, anytime I arrange something beautifully, I'll just take a photo of it. Have a nice image build. That version there. Beautiful, beautiful, I love it. And you can see me live now and how I actually react to my own track, which is beautiful. This is one of the saxophones. So he's done the bass of this melody. And just take your time with your tracks, guys. Have a listen to your own track. Really listen to it. It will inspire you every single time you listen to it. So that's that one, and then with the effects one. This is extra. It's giving me 4 wave stem files with extra certainty inside. The bass line, I never asked for the bass line, I just asked for the melody of my real stem file, and this is now even better. So thank you very much. Manual. I can use that for something. I can use it for my future projects. This one's, let's say, my hat. This is my hat. I can put a stereo enhancer on this. It can be in the side channels. Why not? And my actual saxophone bass line can go in my side channels also, along with this. So I can really mix something really excellent over here now. Put a stereo enhancer to be panning in the left and right of my headphones, just in the tunes. 3-way, let's have a 3-way saxophone system here. And I'll use the effects. And it's much better that I do use the effects with this one. It's already sounding amazing. I can also try my reverb as well, the one I placed. Now, together, how it works. This is extra. This is how it goes. Oh, this is amazing. So what he's done, he's added inside the actual chorus where everything, all the instruments are coming together, and he had to do it, and I'm thanking you right here, Manuel, for your support. So he just placed it inside the extra, as an extra punch in saxophone for my actual finish of my track. So with the effects, now it sounds beautiful. Thank you. This is extra, and thank you very much. So let's have a look over here with the dry versions. Let's have a look at the dry versions. One second. So that one there is no effects for number 3, and number 1 no effects. So what happened was, one second. There's a hat underneath my stem file. I thought that Manuel placed a hat underneath my stem file. I was saying no. Otherwise, he would have recorded his saxophone under a hat, while the hat's playing in the background. So it was my mistake. Now I'm never mistaken. I'm a person who's always growing. Let's have a look over here. Let's have a look. Now, I love the saxophone. Saxophone is my sound. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's have a look over here now. For my original version, I'll take off the melody completely and I'll add the special effects. Yes. Now, since that is that, let's have a look at how it sounds, because no matter what, when you're mastering your track, you have to realize you have to keep listening to your track over and over and over again to see what works. And you have to take it every single step at a time, in terms of one step at a time, and listen and really, really see what works. Here we go with the track now, with the track here. Here's the saxophone now. It goes. Thank you. I fit the tempo. No, sorry. Fit the tempo between 100 and 200. So it's going to fit the tempo for me now. Just to make sure that it's really on tempo, I place fit to tempo with my stem file. Now my stem files already, they seem in tempo already. So let's have a look. I just make sure. So the best way to see is your track in tempo is to check the small little line inside of where your grid lines are to see is it on point. and then you check also every single one, and it looks excellent for me. Here we go. I have to listen to my track over and over so I can see what works. Beautiful. Am I missing something over here? Yes, I am. My hats. It's one I deleted. My hat. My hat deserves to be here. Now it's going to be much better now. My hat's inside. I'm saying when my track's so quiet. And the track has to be also quiet sometimes. I placed a hat though. Make it progressive for myself. That'll be. Beautiful. Just already mastered. Now, so far the sound of the saxophone needs to be turned up. Yeah? Honestly, no. It's perfect the way it is. All I can do, just normalize it. This is just with the melody, with the saxophone. This is how it sounds. But here I would play as, I'll let it be. It's much better to have the actual other sound effects that Manuel gave me. To make this its own EP, I may as well place the actual other files over here to see how it goes. And honestly, all in all, to make this my EP track over here, I can. It's probably best I do so, to be honest, so that I can have different variations of my track. So I'll do that also. Have always different variations of your track. So what I'll do over here is, no matter what, I'll listen to my tracks over here. These ones I'll switch off. Beautiful. And now what I have to do with the track in terms of the saxophone, modulate in and out of this. To be honest, one second, let's have a look over here. So the melody, the actual melody, let's have a look at my melody over here. How do I place my melody? So here it is. So that's what I have to do. I have to make sure that the saxophone is cut over here as I see what's going on. So I just made a cut over here so I can duplicate the ending of my saxophones to have a double range saxophone at the end, so that I can modulate it with volume to go down by 10%, which is what I do with all my tracks when coming in and out. I make sure that my tracks modulate inside with volume 10% and out 10%. Why? To make everything balanced. When your volume is going up, make it 10% in and out of your whole music production career, or place it on a different setting, such as 11%, 12%, whatever works for you. For me, it's 10%. Why? Just a number I picked, and that's it. Now, I have a beautiful modulation frequency now on the way out with a saxophone. And now saxophone's gone. That's it, beautiful. Now, that can be its own track. So what I'll do now is I'll just have a listen to the other ones now. And it's amazing I can do this on video, and I can gain more experience doing this on video also. And it helps me feel somebody is watching me. So you get to see me in the moment and how I actually do my tracks. No effects. This is no effects. I need one with the effects. FX. Number 2 and number 1 in no, on number 1. Now, here we go. This is the effects channels now. That's excellent. So I have to also modulate these ones right here. Yep, 100%. And thank you so much, Emmanuel. To be honest, you're doing a great job. I'm just very happy about this saxophone. There's also bass guitar coming in. There is drums coming in. There's a drum coming in as well. Boom, 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 boom. It's going to be a live concert. It's going to be a live concert. A live concert. It's going to be a live concert. It's going to be played at weddings. Very beautiful. Now, for my other 2 effects channels, I will have my saxophone at 10% modulation in volume in the going out for both of them, and all 3 of them have a 10% decline on the way out in volume. You understand? So it's all going to go into, let's have a look. I have hearing aids. I have hearing aids. One person who's doing me. Now, no matter what, when you're going out inside of a track, you have to realize to place your volume in a way that the track will decline in volume in 10% fashion, or in any percentage that you do, so that your track can really be balanced. Because if your instrument is going at 11% in terms of your flute is going at 11% and your other instruments at 7%, it's off balance. So place everything in terms of volume modulation the same way always for every single track. In the coming in, I mean when you're starting your track, modulate your volume to go in and modulate your volume to go out. And then just do that with the same percentage always. When you're starting your pattern recognition in terms of your actual patterns that you make in your stem files, make sure that before it clips or before the actual stem file is at 100%, make sure that it's slowly, make sure that it comes in the horizon in a diagonal way in the first beat. So in the first beat, make sure that there is a little volume modulation going on there so that your track will never clip. Let's have a look. Now I can send this to manual right away once I export it. The baseline has to be there. The baseline. It'll beef up the track. The baseline beefs up the track. And on top I'll have a vocalist. And saxophone really slows down your music in a way that it never even sounds that it's very fast. It has a beautiful, sexy feel to it. So what I'll test now is I'll see to hear the saxophone in my track without the bass line, so I can actually see how it goes. Although the bass line will give it that oomph. And the vocals are coming in on top of this now. Take a photo. I snapshot my screen with photos so people see how it was. And for me mainly. Now this is where the bass line is supposed to come. The bass line is supposed to be coming in here. This can be its own track. This can be its own EP volume also. There are many variations I can do with this. I can put just a melody, I can put with no bass line. I can add the bass line all together also. There's 3 tracks I can make with just this saxophone with the actual instrumental piece. And I will actually do it. The more variations you have in a track, the better you can make a one-hit wonder. Believe me, sometimes the bass line may be in the way of something. So sometimes people have no need for a bass line. They just love to hear the saxophone as a bass line. So there's always different variations. Make as many variations as possible in your track, as simple as possible, and really state what is going on in that track. That's it. So now with this track, I have my original track, my actual original track. Now, since I have the saxophone, it's my EP3 module. Now, I have 1, 2, 3. 3 track titles I can make with this one here. I can go, so let's have a look over here. I have a saxophone melody, I have the 2 effects channels, and also without the bass line. So that's 3 I can make here. And then the vocalist, that's 4. The vocalist, that's 4. And then the vocalist with no bass line is 5. 5. And then the vocalist with just a melody and no bass line saxophone melody. That's 6. So I can make 6 variations here. And that's it. So vocalist and melody, that's 2. And then vocalist with all together, that's 1. So 6 variations. There is the melody. So with the melody, then we have the saxophone bass lines and side hustles. So melody, no bass line, full, that's 3. And then with the vocals, is another 3. That's 6. 6 versions of this track. So that means 6 versions of my original track I can make with just the saxophone now. And also there is, with that, there is also the distortion one, which also has the bass line. And I can take off the bass line as well. The same thing. That's 12 EPs I can make with this track, with just these saxophones in variations. And that's what I'm doing. And then in each track module, I can do the same thing. That's 6 again. So the 6 is numbered at the moment for my saxophone one. And then what I can do is, with the vocals, is add a pitch variation to the tonality to make it a guy volume and make it a guy singing, with the woman singing who I gave the money to sing my track, who I gave the money to sing for my track. And that way I can make the woman and the guy sing together. So that's another 8 variations. And then with the woman and the man, that's 6 once again. And with just the man, that's 6. That's 24 EPs I can make in every single track with just this one. So I will do that. And it's going to be EP volume 3 saxophone. And it's going to be correspondent to just the saxophone. And then there's more coming. And it's going to leap forward. It's going to be something big. 24 tracks I can make with just the variation of what I have over here. 24 tracks. Indifferent without the bass line, with the bass line full version, whatever. And something for everyone. Sometimes some people dislike the bass line and they love to hear the saxophone. They say, I love the saxophone. This one hits the spot for me. Some people say, nah, the guy vocalist is so crap, whatever. They love the woman one. Do you understand? There's a woman one. And then some people love no drums in my music. I will have a live drum. And they'll say, oh, I love the bass line. Everything is available for this track. So making every single variation possible, that's what I'm doing. So all in all, I have track 1, my instrumental, original track is going to go with the vocal and the guy and female modulation, which is going to have 4 tracks in it. And that's going to be that for now. And there's also live instruments. And here it is. So live instruments here, and there's going to be an opera one. And it's all coming together over time for me. And this is my lifetime project, this one, just this. I'm just going to be focusing on this one here. And yeah, I just take it slowly. It's never short days, it's long days for me, and I'll be inspired so much by this track. Just to be able to do over 5,000 tracks in just this variants. 5,000 tracks, guys, in Chinese, Vietnamese, Cambodian. I'll have everybody singing to this. Everybody. So it's a big masterpiece. It's going to be a hit wonder. And it's a hit wonder right now. So no matter what, I've over 5,000 variations for this track with all the instruments combined. And on the side note, remixes. People, I give my 6 stems. I have my 6 stems over here. I have my stem files. People can go into my university, get the stem files, remix it for me. They can take out the drop, and they can take out maybe a melody, whatever they need, and they can remix my tracks. So I'll have over 10,000 remixes on my track as well, from other people who are going to do it for me. I'll never ask them to, but because my track is going to be so big, it's going to be so big, everybody's going to be playing the trumpet to this. There's going to be amazing volume in this. And then each time I do a track with a melody, I have 3 melodies in here, nice progressive sound, and I make a beautiful musical piece in terms of my life. It's going to be a classical version of all my melodies in all my tracks. So say I have 60 tracks with 60 different melodies. It's 180 melodies. I'll put that in a classical piece, and I'll make everybody sing to it, and it's going to be a beautiful musical show. And then we'll see what happens. Now, with the saxophone effects, when I put my reverb over here, I'll add the no effects channel, just so I see how it sounds. That's what you have to test everything. You have to test. Reverb 2. That's why there's no effects and there is effects. Effects is just a reverb on it. That's how I place my stem file. So no matter what, I already see, for example, with my reverb, I rather use my reverb than Manuel's one, because with my reverb, I've placed it everywhere in my track. So to keep my sound preoccupied with my sound, I have to put my reverb on it. So whatever Manuel has done for me in terms of effects, thank you very much, and I can still use it to some degree. I can still use it, and I'll just make sure to place my reverb on it. As it has a nice beautiful reverb in it, and it's really in your face. Let's have a look. Now I'm just listening back and forth to the saxophone. So I'll definitely place my reverb, and there's a big difference in actual reverb sound. His reverb's designed for big escalation. My one's more compact, so you can hear it much more. It's more in your face, and it has the wet sound that you need. So I'll place my reverb here. So thank you very much, Manuel. And I keep repeating myself, and it's always good to keep escalating the thank you, believe me. It means you're grateful. Keep escalating it. Let's have a look over here. Saxophone 2 over here. So all I do is I connect the same stem file to the same mixer track, which is number 5, and that's where my reverb is. So I just connect my stem files, all the ones that I need to place the same reverb on, I put in the same mixer track, and it's all done for me. Let's have a look over here. Now also I have to grab this over here, and I'll place this one in the mixer track too. So it's 3 melodies. And also I can have a dry version in this track, although I will just make it my reverb, and that's going to be the original version. And I'll keep the stem files always. I keep the stem files, because those stem files other people can use. So what happens is my reverb boosts the sound of the actual saxophone, which is amazing. Now it really sounds lifted, the actual saxophone, because when you place a big room reverb on an actual saxophone, what happens is the saxophone goes lower in volume, if you never noticed. And when you actually post for the reverb to be facing you, the bucket to be facing you, in Reverb 2 in FL Studio, which is what I do, it's a small studio, it's really in your face. It's going to be heard. Beautiful. Now, amazing. Here we go. Very professional. See my drop? People can place their own drops in that. They can cut the stem piece of the drop and put their own drop in it. They can also create a nice beautiful trance track in the middle of where the drop is. They can cut the drop out, make a beautiful, let's say, trance track in the middle of that, and then they add a nice beautiful, let's say where the chorus is, they add my chorus in, and that can be that. They can put 2 trance side hustles inside the breakdown. They can do something in between that. They can put a melody within my melody, and they can place something in the middle, their own drop, anything to do with their own drop. They can place their own bass line, they can put their own kick, everything. They can remix my track as long as they have 1 stem file or 2 or more inside of my track. As long as you credit me, thank you very much. Let's have a look. So how amazing that is to hit the one hit wonder, make a hit one, in terms of you make a one hit wonder for yourself, and that way everybody sees your track because you worked on it so much. That's the whole point. Let's have a look now. Now for this, to place the effects channel in terms of my saxophone to the left and right and the bass line, to be honest, why not? Let's have a look over here. Since I have a reverb here, all I do is I place a stereo shaper. I'll place a stereo shaper, no, stereo enhancer. I'll place the masterpiece of my master on the actual saxophones, and what I'll do is I'll remove the melody from that mix, because the melody can be right in the middle, while the other 2 saxophone